Hi there, my name's Hallie, and this is my testimony of how Jesus found me. I grew up in Iowa with my two parents, my older brother. My mom worked 3 jobs. My dad was going to college and worked another job. So it was me and my brother a lot, unsupervised, and he was kind of a jerk. Um, then middle school, we grew up in church. My mom would take us when she had time. I was baptized at like 2 or 3 at a Methodist church, but I never liked it. I was a tomboy. I hated dressing up. I remember thinking it was just a bunch of baloney, and I always believed in like the Big Bang Theory, evolution. Science has always been my favorite subject, so I never clicked with church. Um, Middle school, I started rebelling, stealing cigarettes, smoking pot. Me and my friends were into witchcraft, all that stuff. High school, still rebelling. I almost dropped out, but then like 9/11 happened. My brother had just joined the National Guard, and I always looked up to him. So I straightened up my senior year. I joined ROTC, and then I graduated, and I joined the Army as a medic. I met my husband 6 months before we deployed. We got married 2 weeks before we deployed. We were young, and while deployed, I was a medic, but I was a 50 cal gunner. I was the first female 50 cal gunner on my fob, and we were 4th Infantry Division, so we ran a lot of supply missions to all the infantry guys, which my husband was infantry. I got my combat action badge for being hit with an IED. I know a lot of people that got hit with IEDs. Multiple people died from IEDs. My husband on his last mission got hit, burnt really bad, evac to the States, so I got a compassionate reassignment to Brooke Army Medical Center where he healed and got out, and I spent my last year working in the emergency room, so we would have all the burn victims come in. And I remember one time in Iraq, we went to a hospital. It was full of women and children just laying there naked in these metal frame beds, crying. They had no morphine, so we had gone there to give them morphine. And I remember during that whole time frame, like, I was just thinking, well, if God's real, why is he letting all this bad stuff happen? And I just didn't understand it. My husband became a cop. We had our daughter. He cheated on me multiple times. The last time right after he cheated on me, he got hit by a drunk driver on duty and lost his leg. So he's had some bad luck. I thought it was God telling me to stay with him, but he kept doing his thing. So my daughter and I, we got divorced, and then my daughter and I moved back to Iowa. I was living with my parents, started going to nursing school, 2011, 2012. I remember I was in a nutrition class, and that's kind of when I started to see all the corruption with these big corporations and the government, and I was like, and then I remember watching Zeitgeist. It was like my first documentary, conspiracy stuff, and they talked about 9/11 truth and also about Jesus being a deity like all these other deities, and I was like, yeah, see, he's just a sham. And but then 9/11 got me going down the rabbit hole of all the things, and then I met up with my ex-fiance, who I was with for 7 years. We grew up together. I'd known him since 3rd grade. He lived down the block. I knew he was kind of a bad boy, but I always had a crush on him, and he told me he was changed and yada yada, and he had his own construction company. I really didn't want to do nursing anymore. I loved the whole construction idea because I was interested in like flipping houses and this and that, so I dropped out and helped him run that business for a while. We moved out here in this big house on 8 acres, and he swore he was going to help, and things were good for a while. And we always partied. We kind of partied. But after I had our 2 children, I settled down, but he just kind of kept going. 2017 is when I first heard about flat Earth, and I remember thinking that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I didn't look into it for months. And then finally I was like, well, what would make people think that? I thought it was the CIA putting it out there just to make us all look stupid, and finally I looked into it, and I was just like, whoa, and everything clicked for me because I'd seen all the evil, and it was like everything just tied together, and I saw that God was real and all the deception, and it just made me turn to my Bible, and I started reading that. And it's crazy because at the same time, in 2017, my ex started using meth heavily and got addicted and just went off the rocker. I mean, he was using it every day, and I put up with it for about a year and a half. I was just trying to learn about spiritual warfare. I thought I could help him, save him, if he would just get off the dope. But things got bad. He got just physical, crazy. It was awful. I put up with it way too long. Finally, I got a protection order, August 2019. So it's just been a year now. He was just arrested August 4th of this year for the 5th time since I got the protection order. He's just been running the streets, homeless, I don't know, doing whatever. But it's just crazy during that time how God worked in my life, and just miracles. Like, I wouldn't have been able to afford my home if he hadn't have stepped in and financially made me okay to separate myself from him, and tons of other things. He just is amazing, and this is at 6 minutes now, so that's that. Now I'm here.